I'm not sure that light always actually, they told me that light doesn't really mean anything.
Gail, you weren't supposed to use legal stuff on us. Come on, we just wanted to
It's like, I advise the
Where's Haas when you made him?
give them a quick crash course on it.
Right.
Okay.
I'm
Here now. Members are here and present. We will start out with item, and our only item, item 23, Resolution 2021-06660, resolution authorizing the city engineer to amend an existing agreement with Barrientos Design and Consulting for additional architectural consulting services related to the consolidation of city buildings in the amount not to exceed $24,295, and approving an engineering department fund transfer and amending the 2021 capital improvement program. Is there anything you want to say, Pete?
Or is there anything you want to say?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
This is part of a discussion we had, I think it was before Administration and Finance, regarding Badger bounce back opportunities for the grant programs. So we're looking at consolidating a variety of buildings into one location, but we need to have some, excuse me, I just ran up the stairs. We need to have some assistance with providing a cost estimate for the grant. So that's what this is for. Hopefully the grant will have a lot more zeros at the end.
So this is just to get it started up with the
Right.
Barrientos drawing up a couple of
Right.
ideas
We're looking at the
and drawings.
space needs. I mean, you know, if it were as it is now, it'd be 140,000 square feet, so it'd be triple the size, but we're going to try and, you know, overlap with
Right.
kitchens and meeting rooms and training.
Yeah.
Right, but,
Yeah.
so we won't need that much space, but
Yeah.
we got to look at, we're optimizing the space needs, seeing what we need. So that's mostly what he's doing, and then he'll have a cost estimate and a sketch or a concept.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Ranky.
has this ever been done before?
We did it for City Hall. We optimized with Barrientos in
This
2019.
includes other buildings, it sounds like.
Right, right. We did it for Public Works very successfully. We did it for City Hall, so these are the only buildings we haven't done yet, so
I see.
we'll have the whole city optimized.
Okay, thank you. Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll go on with the License and Health Committee. Everybody is present. First item is item 25. New Class B tavern license for the individual DBA Rufina's Fine Food Fall Fest 2021, 7609 West Boulevard Parking Lot, West Dallas, Wisconsin 5329. Maria?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, so you have an events in a parking lot, right?
Yes, I do.
I don't foresee any, myself, no problem at all. Just
Chairman.
one time, You want to once or you want to,
I would like it for the year in case I do it again in April, June.
yeah,
So
go ahead.
I think we all got the letter from one of our former coworkers. What's that all about, Kale?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, if I may first, I understand the license, the Class B license never was picked up, right?
Well, it was more than
Yeah,
that.
right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, but if it never was picked up, I don't see really anything really interfering with the new applicant for this license. you know,
Mr.
Class B.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
May we give Kale the
Thank you.
opportunity to kind of give a quick
Yeah,
overview?
yeah, that's what I said. Go ahead,
So,
Gail.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So the, historically, at this property, there was some confusion, I think, as to which licenses were covering which. That has since expired, so events in the past aside, I don't know if it really impacts the committee's decision today. What's before the committee today is a request for a Class B license, which is what a bar or restaurant would normally get. Rapina's being a grocery store normally would get a Class A license, which allows, it's more like a liquor store or anything where you can sell for consumption off premises. The Class B allows consumption on premises. There are a few things that I would like the committee to look at if you're going to approve this license. One, the actual application didn't have a premises description in it, so I'd want you to say what the premises is, what the premises you're approving. And then second, a Class B in an open area like this, or just a parking lot, is unusual. And so understand if it's approved without any conditions, or just approved as is, anyone could buy alcohol, beer or liquor and walk around the parking lot during the open hours up to 2 a.m. So it's a very broad approval unless you put conditions on it. I think the concept is there's a particular event that Rapina's wants to hold, but there might be future events they also want to hold in the parking lot. They don't have any other options but a Class B license for what they're trying to do. So depending on what I hear from the committee, I'm happy to sort of take whatever the committee says and formulate conditions that will work. But other than that, those are the main things I'd like the committee to consider at this point.
Mr. Chair?
Any questions?
I have concerns with this altogether. First and foremost, having events, just as Kale described, even with conditions, it's not normal that we would typically issue this. What is the difference between this and saying, okay, Maria would like to have this event in her parking lot, can there be an extension of premise granted for this 1, 2, or 3 events?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So that would be a more traditional way of doing it. The difference is normally when it happens, it's a bar or restaurant that wants to extend their premises, and they already have a Class B. Since she has a Class A as a grocery store, it wouldn't help to extend that licensed premises out. One potential solution for the future could be having a Class B covering the whole premises of the grocery store, and then when events are going to be held, it could be extended to the parking lot or extended to whatever extent the committee wanted to approve. That would require the licensee to surrender the Class A license, get a Class B for the actual premises, however it would be described within the grocery store, and then the traditional extensions would occur when events are coming up. If the committee would go that route, that means that, at least by statute, anyone at the grocery store could buy a beer, open it, and walk around the premises within the grocery store with an open beer. There are grocery stores that are doing that out there in various places. I don't know if the committee wants to join those ranks, but there's nothing illegal about it. There is a theory, at least, that if the committee wanted to approve a Class B, but then impose a condition saying you couldn't leave a certain area of the grocery store with an open container, there's a theory that would be a condition that the council could apply. Its enforceability is not exactly set in stone in state law. I couldn't guarantee its enforceability, but it would be at least a condition that if the licensee agreed to it in good faith, I wouldn't expect a company like Rapina to risk their reputation on
Never.
disregarding a condition like that, regardless of its legality. So that's one way to address it, would be go Class B with the condition that you can't actually carry open containers in the grocery store. Otherwise, for now at least, we're presented with the Class B for just the parking lot, and it's up to the committee how you want to proceed.
Mr. Chair, if I may continue. I would be opposed. I just think that this is just beyond the tradition of what we would look at. I wouldn't be opposed to you having an event, but I do have to mention something. Have you already advertised this?
I did.
Okay, so you advertised it even before
Yes, I did.
approved it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because that too is a problem.
So I guess if I could speak, please?
Sure.
I've had a Class B before for 14 years at Summit. I have never abused that, ever, ever. Weddings, parties, and at Rapina's, we are growing and we're doing other things also. That Class B, we take very seriously. We have never, ever done anything illegal. I wouldn't let that happen because I respect the city and the community, and this is something, honestly, Rapina's needs. This is to create revenue. And I believe that given to us, yeah, it's not the norm, but what is the norm today? And it doesn't mean you have to approve it for everybody, but if you look at we've never been called on, never had problems. We take care of it if there's any problems. We have cameras everywhere. You can't even walk an inch without getting on camera. I will guarantee there will never be a problem with that. I have security. All of my people are bar safe, safe serve. I've done it at the state fair. This is something that I have done for a long time. It's not just some grocery owner saying, I want a B liquor license. I respect all of you, and I'm asking, I need that license. And I will give back Class A.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Lysak.
Mr. Chair, I would very much recommend that we allow Rapina's to do this for this one event with conditions that it only be for this event, limit the time of the event, whatever it is, and confine the areas like we make every other tavern, say this is the area that is permitted. And then I would suggest that Rapina's be allowed to come in and apply for a Class B license, surrender their A license, so they turn that in, have a B license at the store, and if you want to put conditions on it that they, can't serve alcohol outside the premise, which is the way it is, anyway, whatever conditions you want to put on that Class B, I think would be something we could talk about. But I do think that for this event, they've been an upstanding member of the community. They've done a lot for the city. They do a lot for organizations. They do a lot of charitable work in the city. And we let just about every tavern that comes in here and wants to have a special event have one. I guess because of a lack of knowledge of this, I don't think we should penalize them. I think we should help them achieve what they need to achieve for this one-day event, and then do it the right way. They did have a liquor license and were granted the Class B license by mistake, or maybe not by mistake, but for the other building, because she was going to open up a restaurant in that shopping center. That didn't go through, so that license is null, and she can't order one for the grocery store because you can't have an A and B in the same premise. So we're saying let's swap them out. But to get her through this October festival, I'm asking that the committee consider granting her a license for that festival with the restrictions that we do for normal taverns.
Mr. Chair?
And that's good.
So, real quick question. Would she be able to just give up her Class A right now and get a Class B immediately? I mean, is that a capable thing of happening?
So it's noticed as a Class B for the Fine Foods Fall Fest 2021 parking lot. It's a very specific description
Okay.
of the premises, at least how it was noticed.
And it can't be amended, like, as we're sitting here type of thing? Or does it have to be all written?
Mr. Chair.
Do you have any preference on this one?
Well, I would think it would be a completely different legal entity. You're not going to want to have the license in your own name, correct? You would want to have
That-
it in a corporation
I
or
was
an
told
LLC.
that
No,
I
I'm
had
just-
to, yes.
Well, that's exactly
don't
for
want it
this
in my name.
situation. So what you're
Okay.
saying is, she would be able to do it in my mind, but it would have to be under this licensee, and
Okay.
she's not going to want to have that liability for
Okay.
herself.
Okay.
That would be my
But I'm willing to do that because I know how I am. I don't.
Mr. Chair, so to expand upon that, the current application is actually in Maria's name as the individual. And that's because the Rapinas entity that has the Class A cannot also have a Class B next door.
Gotcha.
So she had to do it in her own name as a legal technicality.
Okay.
So approving it today would put it in her name, and I don't think she'd want that. I think the more appropriate thing to do would be apply under Rapinas for a Class B, and then if, upon approval, she would have to surrender the Class A under the same licensee. So as for tonight, I wouldn't recommend doing it just for that reason, but
So- So then my question beyond that is, after you've answered that now, is instead of then putting it as a multiple event type of thing, we could do it as one time only, and then she could come and surrender her Class A and get a Class B, and then do the things after that. Okay, all right. That's what I was trying to, well, okay,
I don't foresee
perfect, all right.
any issue.
Thank you.
with that, really.
Mr.
Just
Chair.
one time only for the event.
Mr. Chair?
But
I want to thank Alderman Lysick for bringing this to our attention as a committee, and Rapina, you two for so passionately speaking. The reason I had the issues that I have is the presentation of this application. It made absolutely no sense to me.
It didn't make any sense to me either.
And it really didn't. And there were just so many things wrong. So with that being said, if we do, just to clarify, we can approve a Class B for the single individual event this evening under Maria's name and then take it back, or no, we're just gonna hold this item, make it right, or what do we do?
I'd like to make it right.
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I could just ask the applicant, what date is your event?
30th,
One day only?
one day.
Okay.
It's from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
So based on the timing of the event, if she wants to utilize it for that, the only way for it to occur is for the committee to approve this license tonight. I'd have to go back in chapter 125 to make sure, but in theory, what I'm thinking right now is if there's an interest in doing the thing that Alderman Lysick suggested, you could approve this license within her name for tonight, and then put the condition that it's only allowed to be used on October 30th during the times of the event. But then effectively suspend the license after that. She could come in and apply for a transfer of this Class B to Rapina's. So rather than applying for a new license or filling something new out, you
just transfer.
transfer to an entity that would be part of it. And that way, there would be nothing further that she need to do. It would be a subsequent meeting that this committee would then decide whether to allow that transfer to occur. So that's just I don't know if that makes sense.
Transfer of a location and a person.
Correct.
Can you do that?
Chairman Vitale?
That's why I said I have to go
I'm
back.
unfamiliar with that occurring, but
There are ways of doing it. Premises to premises is easier. Person to person is a little more challenging. So
but
that's why
together.
that's why I had to condition, and I have to go back in chapter 125 to see if this is possible.
Chairman Vitale,
Yes.
if I may, I think that just makes this a lot more messy, and we need to really button this up. So if we approved it with a condition of suspension immediately after this event, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but if we did it and you check statute or chapter 125, we would then have to look at the B being transferred and what conditions we would place on that, because
But I
think
would
there's-
like the B eventually.
Yeah.
Right, but tonight, I think it would be advantageous on your part to let's look at the 30th, get your event. I'd like to see it suspended immediately thereafter, and then whatever needs to be done the right way, represent it to the committee. Then we can have more time to discuss it, you can have more time to prepare, to explain it to us a little bit better.
Okay.
You can come and reply.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the event that you plan, is it on the 30th or 20th?
30th.
The 30th, so we still have another meeting to act on it, don't we?
No.
No.
No? October, what is this? 20, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'll be
we're
the
right.
first week of November. that we're
Oh,
back.
then, so basically,
October
couldn't we,
go?
don't we have to make a decision tonight then for Maria?
And just one time.
For a one-time?
Only one
And
time.
I want this clarified as well. You mentioned that if she gets a B license, that people can carry around beer in the store?
If the license is issued with no conditions, yes. But what I,
We can make a
what I'm
condition.
presenting and what I think the licensee is agreeing to would be to not use the Class B for that purpose. A Class B actually allows you to sell for consumption on premises, but also off. So effectively, she'll be using the Class B almost all year as a Class A, but then for these events she wants to have in the parking lot or some special event where she extends, then she could actually use it as a Class B, and it would just be an extension of premises request, and that's all it would be. It would be treated much like a bar for those events only, but then operated every other day like a Class A. Like a
Correct.
I see. On her behalf, I'd like to say to the committee, Rapinas has always been a very good partner with West Dallas.
Thank you.
They've done a lot of good for our city, and I have faith that she would run a good show or a
Thank
good
you.
fest.
Thank you.
So I think we should work with her to make this happen for Rapinas.
Thank you.
Very good, all person. So any further questions from the committee?
I would like to make a motion to approve with that stipulation and condition that we grant the Class B with an immediate suspension after the October 30th event.
Correct.
And what about
And then-
And
carrying around the beer?
Allow only during the time of the event
And the event, that's it. Go ahead. You have a
And-
question?
Parking lot boundaries.
and the parking lot boundaries.
Bob, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
okay, then I will continue my motion
Okay.
Not in
because
the-
I thought that was already naturally assumed based on the event being held in the parking lot, that this is not to exceed the limits of the stated parking lot limits and within the hours of
11 a.m.,
9.
9 p.m.
from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on October 30th.
What
Correct.
about the beer carrying around in the store?
We're not going to be
That's not-
talking about that this evening.
Okay.
We're just voting on this event right now for the 30th, and then Maria can come back and reapply for the Class B
Okay.
and kind of do it the
All
right way.
right. Thank you for clarifying.
All right, so that's my motion.
So I need a second.
Second.
All in favor of the second and the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very much,
Thanks, Maria.
Maria.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks. Hope you guys come.
All right, we move ahead with item 26. 2021-2023 renewal operator license bartender sales clerk application for Rolando Flores. He's not here. What's the matter with that guy?
I don't know. The next person called and said he couldn't come, but
Well,
Mr.
it's
Flores did
heartburn or
not.
what?
He did not, so do we
Hold
make
it.
a motion
Is there
to?
records, anything that we know?
He does. That's why he's scheduled for the meeting this evening.
Motion to deny based on record.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Good. Now we're moving along. Item 27, 2021-2023 renewal operator license bartender sales clerk application for Luke Kolanchak.
He's the one that called and requested his license be held until the next meeting because he's not able to come.
Motion to hold?
Second.
Hold, okay. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Then we have item 28, which is September 21st Police Department Cameron violation call for service report.
Motion to place on file.
Place on file.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to place on file?
Aye.
May we have a quick discussion?
ahead.
Kale, I just had one question for you on the tavern violations. Were there two that we noted from JC on this short list? JC's Pub and Grill on 81st and National?
Right.
I think I saw something.
Yeah, there were two calls. It was a very short list of service reports or violations, but I just
Right.
wanted to be sure that was noted. I don't know if my colleagues noted that there were two
Yes,
from
there were
JC's
two.
and that.
The women
We
were
haven't
fighting.
seen that before, so
So you want-
that drew a bit of a concern. I'm not looking to hold JC's in. I just wanted it noted, and if there was any any concern.
Sure, I will let Attorney Serwin know and keep his eyes out.
All right, super. Thank you.
The police were called in both of those incidents, so weren't they?
Yeah, this is the,
That's usually what I do with Attorney Serwin is I'll bring it up to him and he'll go through the detailed reports and see if they did things the right way or if they didn't, and then he'll report back to the committee.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I need to, motion to adjourn.
we already had
We
that.
did it, we just got to vote.
We got to vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Motion, yep.
Your turn.
Now, that's your job, was it?
Okay,
Madam Chair.
all right. Advisory come to order. Let the minutes reflect all members are present. Number 29, the reappointment of Douglas Persich to the Downtown West Dallas Business Improvement Board of Directors.
Move for approval.
It's
Second.
And seconded. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 30, the reappointment of Gloria Hawkins to the Downtown West Dallas Business Improvement Board of Directors. Move to approve. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion.
I just want to make I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I just want to thank both Gloria and her husband for running such a fine business and all the volunteer work that they do.
A very
She
hard
is
worker.
fantastic,
Very
isn't she?
hard worker for the bid.
Absolutely.
So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And next we have, on number 31, the reappointment of Jim Mayhawk to the Downtown West Dallas Business Improvement Board of Directors. Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Jim has been made an honorable legacy member. He can't vote, but he can advise and be part of the discussion. So I wanted the committee to know that, because his health isn't always the greatest.
Well, he's got 100
He
years.
can't
of
make all the
service.
meetings. But he,
Over 100 years, that's the truth.
It's-
yeah, he's been a,
That's how it is.
Yeah, when we count it by committees they're on, so if you're on more than
Yeah.
one committee, you get
Okay.
See?
double years. But we're stopping the count at 100 now, so
Really?
there's, yes. I can only count so high.
so it's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion about Jim? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion adjourned. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.